A very good day to you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Candy Talk here on Herman Manyora's YouTube channel. My name is Herman Manyora. I'm glad that you're here with us. I'm joined by my resident guest, the very able Safina Party Deputy Party Leader, Wakili Willis Otieno. Wakili, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
How is it going?
Everything is okay. Safi sana.
Safi sana na Wanjigi, that's what
Kama
you say.
Safina.
Wantam, that's the new slogan that I'm seeing in town.
It is one term that ends in 2026.
But at the same time, the other end is also talking of Kumi Bila break.
It's okay. They can talk as much as they want. But ultimately, it is the people who will decide. Let the people decide. And the people have decided, and the writing is on the wall from 25th of June. The writing has been on the wall. We are done with this regime and the members of parliament. The Kenyan people will donate their sovereignty to the people who they believe represent their interests. And it's not these ones.
A lot has happened this week. Rigathi Gachagua has launched his Democrats for the Citizens Party. And of course, he's saying here that his main agenda is to make sure that President William Ruto goes home. And of course, the one-term kind of slogan appears more so in his rallies. I wonder, first of all, what do you make of the launching of this particular party as members of the opposition? Do you think that the more parties we have, the better it is for our country moving forward?
No, we welcome the decision by Gachagua to form his party and to associate with a political party. He's a politician.
Yes.
And he has Article 38 rights to form a political party and to champion the cause of a political party. We're in agreement with him that William Ruto is a one-term president. That one we are in agreement. What we are still not in agreement with is what next after Ruto has gone. I believe majority of Kenyans are in agreement that William Ruto's regime has caused the Kenyan people pain. But what next? That is where now we're in competition with him. What does he represent as the solution? And what do we represent as the solution? And these are competition of ideas. As we are very clear that in removing William Ruto, you replace him with an administration that is concerned only about the economy. What is everybody's economic promise to the people of Kenya? Is it tangible? Is it believable?
Okay.
Can it deliver? That is what Safina is all about. The economy. It's the economy, stupid.
Okay. So you people agree, or rather there's some sort of a congruency of ideas on one particular thing, that is getting President William Ruto out of power. So on that you agree?
Yes.
And then what then follows now, what you're going to discuss with him?
That becomes now the competition of ideas. As we believe, William Ruto going, the replacement should be about the economy. We should now rebirth the Third Republic that is about looking into the economic status of the people of Kenya. Let's deal with the question of debt. Let's deal with the question of taxes, which are increased every year to Kenyans to pay illegal debt. Let's call to account those who took these illegal debts. Let Kenyans feel the relief that comes with not paying for illegal debts. So we should be able to reduce their taxes.
Okay.
Let's look at the economic policies that have been running this country. When the government is the number one borrower in the domestic market, thereby crowding out the private sector, the individuals, from accessing capital. The individual is not able to build on his ideas to create innovations. That is what we want to change. Okay. That is what Safina is about. That we want to see an administration where every Kenyan becomes a little king because he has money in his pockets. And our promise to the Kenyan people is that we will give you money in your pockets. Give you money in your pockets through coming up with policies that will facilitate the growth of the private sector. The legacy politicians' approach normally is government will do it for you. As our approach is that government will not do it for you. Government will simply lay a basis, facilitate you to do it for yourselves. And you'll be able to get money in ways that you've never gotten before. Okay. That is what Safina is about.
The presidential seat is currently occupied. It's not vacant. For you to actualize all these great ideas that you have, then you must occupy that particular seat. And I think that is where this conversation about one President William Ruto being a one-term president is coming on. But then it seems that the opposition and other Kenyans at large are actually taking these things so easy. Why is it that for you guys it's like taking President William Ruto out of office would be a walk in the park?
But it's a walk in the park.
How?
It's so easy. Where does he have support from? If over 57% of those who voted for him from one region have left him, Where is the replacement vote? Even those others who voted for him, many of them have left him. Even if you go to his own Rift Valley backyard, there are many people who have left him. And they've left him because of the economy. So where will he get the votes from? Homa Bay? How many are there? Even in Homa Bay, not everybody is happy with William Ruto. You see Raila Odinga blowing hot and cold every day, saying he's not in government. It's only experts who went there. Him is in the opposition. So where will he get votes from? You become president by getting votes from the people of Kenya. He doesn't have them. And me, I listen to the people. I observe trends. Kenyans have done with William Ruto. The conversation should be now about what next,
So
not about William Ruto.
You also listen to the ground just as the
I listen to the people. I listen to the people. And we don't operate in a vacuum. We operate in a society in which we interact with people. And people tell you their challenges, their experiences. And they tell you their political views. They don't believe the legacy politicians. The legacy politicians have caused them this economic pain. They want an administration that is going to deal with this economic pain. They want to see the country make sense to them. That is what we are about.
Okay. I normally have conversations with the other analysts, and they tell me here that anybody thinking that President William Ruto will be a pushover in 2027 or 2026, depending on when the elections take place, is actually daydreaming.
No, I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinion, but the facts are stubborn. You're entitled to your opinion, but not to your facts. Facts are universal. The support that William Ruto had in 2022 is no longer there today. And I don't see where he's going to get new votes from. So about William Ruto being re-elected, that one is, you're dreaming if you think it can happen. It cannot happen. Because where are those votes? They don't exist. So what should be preoccupying our minds is what next? What is that new administration that we are going to elect?
Others are also saying, let's cross that bridge once we get there, but then we've not yet even crossed the bridge. Is it even going to be possible for you to cross that particular bridge?
But the main bridge has been crossed. The main bridge was to get William Ruto out.
Okay.
And you only survive as a president when you have the votes of the people. And the people have said unanimously they don't want him. It's just a few people who are supporting him. And it's their right by day to support him. But their numbers cannot be enough. Because the vast majority of Kenyans have rejected this regime and its economic policies. They are looking for an alternative. And we are going to have for the first time an election that will be informed by a competition of ideas. And the Kenyan people are going to interrogate all those ideas that politicians will come up with. They will test them. They will look at you in the eye to find out if you really believe in what you're saying and if that which you're telling them is believable and can work. These Kenyans that you see here, they are very bright. They are not stupid as some people think. They are very bright. They can discern. They have discernment. They will tell what is workable and what is not workable. What has united them is that this one is one term. On that, they are united across the board. It is now what next as the conversation that they're going to be having during the campaigns. What do we replace this one term with? Is it the same legacy politicians? Is it siasa of vigogo that we are bringing tribes together? Or is it siasa of ideas that we want to test who has the best idea to change this country? Because one thing that we learned from the experience of Kenya Kwanza is that it is not enough to say that if your tribesman is occupying a big position, then the whole tribe is happy, is full. You can occupy the position of president, but your next door neighbor in the village is languishing in poverty because the economy is not working for them. So you rather have somebody who is not your tribesman as a president, but the economic policies is making you to actualize your potential. Their policies are making sure that you're able to access universal health care. Their policies guarantees you university education. Their policies guarantee you a job when you're done with school. That is what Kenyans are going to ask for. So that I don't care who is my president, whether he's my neighbor or not. But if the policy is having impact on me, that I'm able to have a society that works for me, that is what the Kenyans will support.
Okay.
That is where Safina is.
You're talking about competition on ideas being the fundamental basis upon which the 2027 elections, or rather the next elections, let me say so, will be won or lost. Let's look at it this way. Back then in of course, I don't want us to go far, but then just recently, 2022, I think that is the main reason why those manifestos are normally drawn, because they are supposed to be a representation of ideas and one's ambition and vision for the country. And people voted in the manner in which they voted. What makes you think that this time round things are going to be different and that people are actually going to vote on ideologies as you're saying it?
June 25th. June 25th was a turning point in the history of this nation. And June 25th, you saw Kenyans go out in their numbers, irrespective of their tribes and their age and their social status. They all came out to speak and demand for a country that works for everybody. They were demanding for economic liberation. That is where I draw my faith from. The June 25th movement. That changed the trajectory of our politics. And anybody still looking at Kenyan politics using the tribal classes, I'm sorry. You are still living in the past. You are not living in the new Kenya that has been birthed. That is where I get my faith from.
Okay. So let's look at it this way. For you, what is the percentage of people that you actually think are going to, because let's not assume that everybody is where we are right now. There's certain people who,
a
no matter what happens,
vast majority of Kenyans, and that vast majority of Kenyans, unmobilized, unpaid, but with one accord, came out across the entire country to demonstrate and to demand for a society that responds to their economic needs. That mobilization by the people, self-mobilization by the people, had never been done in the history of the earth when they came out. That demonstration had never been led by any politician in the history of the earth in Kenya. Even when Obama came here, he didn't get those kind of crowds. Even Kibaki, when he was elected, didn't marshal those kind of crowds. So I have faith that the vast majority of Kenyans are demanding for an economic liberation. They want to see a society that respects and responds to their economic needs.
Okay.
They rejected the old. But of course, the reactionary forces, the legacy politicians, will still hope and they want to take us back. That is why you see loud talks about it is now our time to be in government, we are now happy. It is the legacy politicians trying to claw back. But the force by which the people have made a demand for a new country, they cannot defeat it. We are going to have a new country. And that country will be a country that respects the economic rights of the people of Kenya.
Do you believe that the events of June 2025 give you definitely a panoramic view of 2027?
Of course. That was a paradigm shift in our politics. You cannot ignore that.
Okay.
Parliament has never been the same. Even this dalliance between Ruto and Raila is informed by the events of June 25th.
Okay.
The impeachment of Gachagua is informed by the events of the June 25th. The unease that is in the country is purely because of June 25th. So that is where you draw the line. June 25th, the country has not been led the same since then. Even Kasongo's avoidance of churches nowadays is because of that. Does he go to church the way he used to go to before? He doesn't. Look at his public engagements. He's always on the defensive. He's still responding to what the people put out on the 25th of June. Do not underestimate the impact of June 25th on our politics. It changed, and things will never be the same again.
Can that rage and that particular outburst of people that we saw that particular day translate into votes in the next election?
Of course, it will translate into votes. It is what is informing politics today. It is what is informing politics today. It has not died. And everybody is trying to respond to it in their own way or another. So don't underestimate it. It is a rage that continues and lives in the hearts of all Kenyans who wants a better society. But there are those who are enjoying within the current setup. They will be uncomfortable with this conversation. But my comfort is they are in the minority. They are not the majority of Kenyans. And they will not have their way.
Okay.
They will wish that things continue the way they were before. But as I told you, things will never be the same again.
majority of those who actually participated in that particular demonstration and all that particular event on 25th of June are the young people here, most of whom are seen as non-voters. Most of them do not even have the voting cards. And even on the very material day, most of them don't normally appear if at all anything is to go by. That is the kind of statistics that we are witnessing here, because the young people have not actually participated much in deciding the future of this particular country. Is there much that has been done to ensure that at this particular time and round that they're going to
most
make sure
of
that their vote
them
counts?
most of them before never paid attention to politics.
Yes.
Most of them before never went to demonstrations. Most of them before never even knew what a finance bill is. Self-mobilized, they now became aware of the finance bill. Self-mobilized, they became aware that they can demonstrate. Self-mobilized, they came out and they demonstrated. And they demanded for a better Kenya. In numbers and in ways never witnessed before in the history of the earth in Kenya. That should tell you that don't look at the previous elections to judge them. That should tell you that there's a new force that has joined our politics that was previously a sleeping giant. That giant is now awakened. That giant is going to participate and will determine the destiny of this nation. It is the step that that giant took that is informing political occurrences today. I've told you even the dalliance between Raila and Ruto, the impeachment of Gachagua, they all emanate from the events of June 25th. So don't say that, oh, they will never vote. That is taking you back. You're ignoring June 25th. Don't ignore it. That is a powerful force. And it's a force that is not united based on tribe. It's a force united on a demand for a better country that works for every Kenyan. That force cannot be underrated.
So nothing has to be done in order to make sure that their vote counts.
They are self-mobilized. Go to TikTok every evening. Look at the conversations. Everybody's having their own TikTok pages. Lives, doing conversations. Even in neighborhoods, friends, schools. And they're discussing issues of governance. They're encouraging each other to go and vote, to go and register as voters. They're encouraging each other to go and participate. They are discussing germane issues about the country called Kenya and their governance. So, it's already happening. They're not going back to their slumber. TikTok now has more political discussion than it has soft life.
Okay.
Why? Because that giant has been awakened. And it's not going back to sleep until it gets what it's demanding. And that will be a society that is fair to all Kenyans. An economy that works to everybody.
Okay. Therefore, it means that as a party, you're also banking on that particular voting.
As a country, as a party, as we are very clear, since the day we started, we premised our campaign to be about the economy. Safina Party is all about the economy. It is the economy, stupid. And those who will see that it is the economy will join Safina Party. And there are many people who have expressed interest to even contest for positions on Safina Party tickets. At the right time, we are also going to unveil our machine to campaign.
When is this right time?
And to liberate the people of Kenya. Yes.
When is the right time?
The machine is being oiled.
The machine is being oiled?
The machine is being oiled.
Kenyans are waiting, so you're saying?
Kenyans are waiting. And they are waiting for
At the same
Safina.
time, you're saying elections should be held next year,
Yes,
2026?
yes. And the machine is revving.
And we are in 2025.
The engine is been turned on. Safina is coming. You know, a ship comes slowly and gently. You may think you are seeing a small speck somewhere at the back.
Okay.
Before you know it, you see a massive ship. That is Safina. And anybody who understands the history of Safina, when the world was full of iniquity, the Lord asked Noah to build an ark. And Noah asked those who sought salvation from the coming floods, those who wanted to be saved, to enter the ark. And the ark only saved those who managed to get in when they landed on Mount Ararat. So also in Kenya today, we are facing the floods of economic turmoil. Our salvation will come from Safina. Safina Party, the economy.
So the ark is coming.
The ark is coming.
You're saying it's about to the engine.
It's about to take off.
Let's wait and see what happens till then. Ladies and gentlemen, weigh in and you tell us what you actually think about this conversation that has been now the talk of town. Wantam, that is the term that they're using here. But at the same time, the other side is saying, look, Rais Ruto atashinda asubuhi na mapema. Kumi bila break. That's what they say. Keep the conversation going. My name is Evans Okenyi. Till we have this conversation again, have yourself a lovely day. Thank you for watching.